This is the Sixth Man Show, an Orlando Magic podcast, with your hosts, Kevin Tucker and Jonathan Osborne, covering all things Magic basketball. By fans, for fans. Go Magic!
What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? You guys are back with the Sixth Man Show. Today is May 31st, 2026. Jonathan Osborne here, as always, joined by my co-host, Kevin Tucker. Kevin, how we doing?
Hey, Jonathan, I'm doing great. This is a unique show. You know, we're going to talk a little Magic, obviously. Sean Sweeney's in the finals, all that kind of stuff. And hard to believe it's only been 48 hours since we announced, the hiring of Sean Sweeney. But that is not what we're going to talk about a whole lot. We're mostly going to talk about you, Jonathan, which I know might sound weird to hear. But yeah, we're going to talk a lot about you if you're joining us. By the way, this is another live show on YouTube. Shout out everybody who's tuning in right now. But this is Jonathan's final show as the primary host of the Sixth Man Show after 7 years. Founded this show 7 years. So we're going to give him a fun farewell. So those of you joining in the chat now, be sure to drop some love for Jonathan. But yeah, we're basically going to hang out tonight and reminisce a little bit, talk about the past, the present, and the future, and can't wait to do it with you, brother.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting show. I think altogether. Appreciate anybody that's tuning in live or after the fact. And to my friend who's very excited for my departure, who we mentioned on the last show, congratulations. This is your last show with me, at least for a little while. So I hope you can rejoice in that. I was fine and ready and prepared for this show about 20, 30 minutes ago. And as we've, started to get ready to record here, it is hitting me a little bit that this is going to be, my last time doing the show in the capacity that, we've done it for 7 years and really for the most part, the last 5 years, especially. I know it's kind of natural to, talk a lot about me, on this last episode, but really when I think about everything, from starting the show and just all the kind of different versions of the show and the way that the show has changed over the years and just everything that we've been able to achieve and experience, to me, it's just what we've all been able to do together, whether it's been you and I or, Luke, Will, whoever, obviously everybody on our team. In the social media video that I did last week, I didn't mention Fazan Amer by name, so I want to do that now and thank Fazan for his contributions and everything. Couldn't forget about Fazan, obviously.
But you did, so I'm just kidding.
Well, I did, and I heard a little bit about it, but it's all love. To me, it's just everything that we did together. And when I say we, obviously I mean us, but I also mean our listeners, our community, the patrons, the people that, listened or watched every episode, the people that lived and died, by these losses and these victories the same way that we have. And, it's a weird thing. In my personal life, I'm believe it or not, I really don't like talking about myself. So whenever people would ask about the podcast, or I would meet somebody and they would learn that I do the podcast, they, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And it's fine. I don't really love talking about it. But I really, the last couple of weeks since we've made the announcement and, posted to social media and stuff, I kind of just have wanted to enjoy this as much as I can while I'm kind of still in it. 'Cause it's one of those things that when you're not in it, you're just not in it. And most of what I wanted to do on the show is just kind of look back at everything that we all have been able to achieve through the show together. Because the opportunities that we've had never would have come about without people watching and without people listening and without people supporting the show and all of those kinds of things. Dang it. Also just thank everybody. I'm just very, very, very grateful for the opportunity to have done this for 7 years. And the fact that we created something that people cared enough to tune in for, and that people have, cared about enough to be, at least a little sad, that I'm moving on. And not that that's what I want. It has been funny to see the people that are happy that I'm moving on, and I'm happy for them to a certain degree. But yeah, man, I'm just incredibly grateful to everybody that's been a part of it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how long this show is going to go for, because I don't know how much more I can say. And, there's not enough words that I could muster to really articulate how grateful I've been for all of this, everything that we've been able to experience and do, and all of the fun that I've had because of this show and because of people caring about it has just been crazy. I'm really, really grateful.
Yeah. I'll give you a little break to collect yourself, but let me share a couple things, and then I'll read some of these really nice messages from the chat. Just in case maybe you missed Jonathan's announcement a couple weeks ago, just to catch everybody up. Yeah, Jonathan is retiring from being the full-time host of the show, but I just want to let everybody know the show's not going anywhere. It's going to look different, obviously, without Jonathan, but if you enjoy coming here for Orlando Magic content, that's not going anywhere. And so we are sticking around. Again, it's going to look different without Jonathan, of course, our founder, our leader. But we're going to be doing a live show actually this exact same time every Sunday night during the off season. So join us here on YouTube. All kinds of fun guests, just like we do every off season. And also, this isn't like the title. This is not goodbye. Jonathan's still going to be on the show once a month. He's just not going to be on twice a week, And so I personally am very relieved about that, because obviously not just co-host of the show, but a dear friend of mine. So glad we'll still be able to talk Magic basketball, and you all can listen to it or not listen to it. That's fine too. All right, let's read through some of these messages in the chat to get us started here tonight. Tyler Morrison, a channel member, says 6-man show for life. Appreciate that. Destined for Greatness says, grateful to Jonathan for chasing the dream. Been here since game 1 of the Raptors playoff series. Holy smokes, that's 7 years. That's crazy. Jonathan brought to life what I've been wanting as a Magic fan my whole life. Thank you. Then we have a hate-filled comment here, not related to Jonathan, that says PSG, PSG, PSG.
I just want to say, if there is a hate-filled comment that has to do with me, I want to hear it. I do want to read those.
I'll read those. But this, I'm joking. If you do not follow the world sport of football, my favorite team, Arsenal, got defeated in a heartbreaking fashion yesterday by PSG. So thank you for that.
Was that a penalty towards the end?
No, it wasn't.
That's fair.
Yeah, it wasn't. I thought it was a fine no call. Escoso Fresco, thank you, Jonathan. Janine Richmond, grateful for my Magic family made possible by you guys at the 6-man show. Appreciate that. Luke Sylvia says, my shirt is off in solidarity of the Jonathan goodbye. Pics or it didn't happen.
Real one.
Luke. Combat Monkey says, I'm here during the live. This is Sweetney. Or Sweet. Maybe he's trying to say sweet, or I'm not sure, but that's cool. Blanco says, salute to you, brother. Thank you for the platform. DJ Tone says, grateful for you all putting on for us fans. Gave me a chance to check playing on the court off my bucket list. Okay, went to Court of Dreams. That's pretty cool. We have a new channel member, Audi81. I wonder if that's Audi FB. That'd be cool. Brian Hurd says,
I do want to say really quickly,
yeah,
because I know there are a lot of people that have enjoyed the Court of Dreams over the years. I don't know if that's something that we will be able to continue to do, but if that is something that is feasible for us to do, I do want to explore that. So
for sure.
That's something you've enjoyed doing, or maybe you've missed it. I don't know if that opportunity is gone. We'll still look into hopefully being able to do something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think we're going to try to keep it going. Brian Hurd says, Jonathan, I was texting you this afternoon. God bless you, my brother. You are a great man, and props for you for bringing Orlando Magic fandom back to life. You made us proud to be Magic fans again. Wow, it's very kind. In Florida 10, I guess is what that says. Jonathan has done an amazing job for so long on the 6-man show, but both of you have been a great pair together covering all things Magic basketball. Very kind of you. Celica says, I might stop listening if Jonathan Osborne isn't there. JK. Hey, I read your PSG comment. So stick around. All right. That was a good sport. Sharp Matt says, thank you, Jonathan. Im Rahim says, we're going to miss you. Lisa says, so proud of you. Combat Monkey says, don't do it. I think referring to leaving. Dylan says, you'll be back. I don't think you're gone for good, my boy. Well, he's not. Like we said, he's still hanging around once a month. And then, look, you've said it, Jonathan, like, playoff time, it's going to be hard to keep Jonathan on the show only once a month. You know, like, when things get really intense, I'm sure we'll see more and more of you. Janine says, I want you to know even my Magic rep knew about you guys. That's very kind. Very, very kind. DJ Tone says, true fans are few and very far between. Salute to you, Jonathan. That's very, very kind. I'm going to skip all the Kevin comments. They're not as important. I appreciate all those kind words. We have some super chats, though. Let's do that. Stephen Luong says, thank you for creating this platform for us Magic Maniacs. Thanks so much for that super chat. K Dizzy says, been rocking with the show since we won the draft lottery and really enjoyed Jonathan's hot and cold takes. Take care of the fam, bro. Yeah.
Plenty of both.
I have a feeling when we talk about some of our favorite moments of the show, we're going to be talking about that draft lottery here in a little bit. Yeah. No doubt about it. Adi, I know this is Adi FB because of the currency that is in this super chat. So I'm going to hold that just a second. Let me read this super chat. Hey, guys, I haven't been a regular here in the live shows, but you've been a must-watch for me the day after. I'm a Magic OG. I can attest, and I'll tell you how I know that in a second. And I wanted to thank Jonathan for all his effort and passion for the Magic and this show. Respect. Thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you for the generosity. So Adi FB, well, I this is really, really crazy. I know that username because I was on the old school Orlando Magic message boards, like on the Orlando Magic website. I'm not going to unveil my username. Maybe I will. I don't know. I'll have to think about that for a little bit. But that's how I know that name. So Adi FB and those that, did the Magic message boards, I mean, that was like 2005, 6, 7, something like that. Like 20 years I've been talking on the internet with this guy about the Orlando Magic, which is kind of crazy.
Crazy story. I signed up, like I made an account on the Orlando Magic message board back in the day.
Yeah.
And had no idea what it was, how it worked, any of it. So I think I logged in one time and then never logged in again.
Amazing.
I haven't had much luck with Magic-based message boards.
Oh, rip. That's a different conversation for a different day. Daniel Barry Drum says, Mr. Osborne is as real as they come. His insight into the game is unmatched, and his passion for this team is unrivaled. God bless Jonathan. Very kind. Thank you so much. And then G Gaines, I'm guessing that's Gabe Gaines, says, thank you for everything, John. Grateful for everything you guys have done. Who is going to defend Fournier with you gone now? Nobody.
It's going to be up to Kevin. It's big shoes to fill, but somebody's got to do it.
Oh, my gosh. Look, I will always defend the stance of he was miscast. I will 100% agree with that. Beyond that, you are on your own. On your own. A couple more messages here from the chat, and then we'll talk maybe some memories, or maybe we'll talk Sean Sweeney. I don't know what you want to do. This is your show.
Let's do that first.
We'll drive. Yeah, let me hit a couple of these. Luis Rosario says, I've been a Magic fan since 1989 when I was 24. Back in the day, you only had a few people to talk about the Magic with, but with this show, the conversations can be endless. That is very, very kind of you. And then William, look at this. Is this Will?
That's
my man.
That's my guy.
That's what I thought. My man, I'm proud of what you accomplished. We'll catch up. Love you, man. How about that? We'll talk about OGs.
Hey, Will just had a birthday yesterday. Everybody wish Will a happy 33rd birthday.
Happy birthday.
That is the OG William Robles right there.
Happy birthday.
My brother.
Yep. And then we'll take a break after this one. Blake says, wait, I'm late. Is Jonathan quitting the show entirely, or will he just be in less often? Less often. Yeah, once a month. And outside of that, you're going to be stuck with me and some other friends and guests and all kinds of fun stuff that we'll explore together every Sunday night at 8 o'clock in the off season. So anyway, thanks for all that. Keep those coming. We'll hit more and more of these as the night goes on. Very, very kind of you.
I appreciate everybody. It really means a lot. Like when you do something like this for this long, like, people are listening. But like, I think the best part has just been started the show because I didn't have anybody to talk to the team about really other than Will. Like the goal was to build a platform, like kind of selfishly, just so that I had other people to talk to about the team, and the fact that like we've been able to kind of provide that for other people, to me is just really, really awesome. And I appreciate people sharing that. Kevin, you had one of the greatest tweets of all time last night, I thought, when you said, for the first time in 17 years, an Orlando Magic head coach is going to coach in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
The sad part is he's not currently coaching for our team, even though he is going to be our next head coach. Sean Sweeney, associate head coach, which I guess is like the title of lead assistant in the NBA these days. His San Antonio Spurs defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 7 last night in OKC. So they will move on to face the New York Knicks, a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals, I believe. Right. Yep. So we're very happy for Coach Sweeney. I am going to be begrudgingly rooting for him and his San Antonio Spurs because I want him to have that ability to come into the door day one and be like, look, I just did this, like winning a title. I know exactly what it looks like. Would love for that to be the case. If there's a way for the Knicks to win and also Sean Sweeney to get a ring, that's great. I don't think that's going to happen, obviously. But yeah, what did you think of Game 7? Do you think it really means anything for like the big picture of either of these teams? Obviously, for one team, it definitely does. Yeah. What did you think of last night, and what do you think of Coach Sweeney coaching in the finals?
Well, here's the deal. So, I was already rooting for the Spurs to beat the Thunder. I haven't liked the Thunder for a long time, and this year especially just can't stand them. So as if I needed any more fuel to the fire, we go and hire Sean Sweeney on Friday, and now I'm like all in. I was gonna like kind of watch. You know how sometimes you watch a game, but it's not your team, so you're doing other things. You're doing work on your computer, whatever. After we hired him, I was like, no, I'm watching Game 7, and I sure did. And it was a beautiful combination of rooting for the Spurs / hate watching the Thunder. And so, yeah, for them to, first off, I think that the Spurs team is very, very impressive, even beyond Wemby. Like how that team's been built is like very, very impressive, how they're coached. But to see them just pretty much total team effort go into OKC and end the Thunder season, I thought was just a work of art. So yeah, I was very, very excited about that. Excited for the Thunder to be out, but I'm serious. I am more excited about our head coach being in the NBA Finals than I am about the Thunder losing. I think it's an amazing opportunity for him. Like we've talked about the fact he's a first-time head coach, right, coming into Orlando. Why not get as much playoff experience as possible as an assistant? Like, you can't ask for anything more. He's going to be coaching a 60-whatever win Western Conference champion going, these couple home games, and he's going to have to coach at MSG. Like, the Knicks are a great team. Mike Brown is great and has a great coaching staff. Like, it's going to be a really, really good battle. I think the Spurs are going to win it, like, if I had to pick. But regardless, we can't ask for better experience from an assistant coach right before becoming a head coach than what he's going to get these next 2 weeks.
Yeah. The only thing for me, not that it's really a big deal, but the fact that, let's say this series goes 7, which I don't know that it will. I think it has the potential to. Sure. But like, let's say this series goes 2 weeks. He's going to have like a week in between that and like the NBA draft. Yeah. And somewhere in there, they're probably going to try to squeeze in, his press conference. So especially like if they win that series, like he's going to win, probably going to want to be part of the parade, I would assume, right? Like, celebrate with that team, and then quick, trip to Orlando, then the draft. So I'm sure a team that has the 46th pick, most of that work is done by like the scouting department, the front office, all that kind of thing. But even more so this year, like I don't think Sean Sweeney's been watching like mid-major guys that might go 46th, in the second round. So I don't know how much input he's going to have in terms of that pick, which is, not good or bad. It's just kind of interesting, I guess. But yeah, like he's going to have a crazy summer, potentially winning the championship, parade, press conference, draft. I'm sure he's going to want to be at least somewhat involved in summer league. At some point, the dude's got to take a vacation while also like putting together his staff for this team. I'm sure he already has had those conversations, has some guys in mind. But like all of these things, like next thing you know, it's going to be August, and he's only going to have a few weeks before guys are coming back into town. You're getting ready for media day, training camp. Like, I'm glad he's not a player because, like, I can only imagine how exhausting all of that is going to be for him over the course of the next, few weeks and couple months.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely like two sides of that coin. Because yeah, I mean, if he had lost, Saturday night, then maybe 48 hours, 72 hours later, he's in Orlando for a press conference. But you're right, it does get more complicated. But yeah, I think if he's the guy, then you have no problem, waiting as long as it takes. Whether it's 4 games, 7 games, and a parade, whatever it is. Which again, I hope it is. I hope it's a parade, but maybe they can sweep him. Maybe they'll win in 4 and get a parade out of the way. And I'm just kidding. I actually think it's gonna be a good series. I am going to pick the Spurs, but hopefully it's entertaining. At the very least, let's have a fun NBA Finals. I didn't enjoy a lot of last year's NBA Finals, especially that Game 7 that was tough. So maybe we can get a good series this time. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So last year was OKC. Was the year before that Denver? Or was it Boston? No, the year before that was Boston. Yeah, the year before that it was Denver.
Yeah, Denver was 23.
Yeah, the Celtics Mavs finals was fine. The Denver Miami, I just hate watch the entire thing. Just with a burning passion of please don't let these guys pull this off. I did want to ask, I don't know how much of this you've seen, but there's been a strong pushback from the OKC contingent against the unethical hoops accusations against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're claiming that regardless of what the narrative is, the analytics don't really back up the fact that he's this foul merchant, which I think they're kind of missing the entire point. Nobody thinks that he's not good.
Right.
Everybody thinks that he's too good to be searching for foul calls in the way that he does. No better example of that last foul that he got last night where he pump fakes. The defender literally blows by him. He jumps sideways to his left to draw the contact, and they actually gave him the whistle.
Yep.
Adam Silver a few days before on the Pat McAfee show talking about as long as the referees, who are incredible, by the way, as long as they're not being fooled, brother, they are being fooled. That's the entire issue. Nobody would care that he's doing this if he wasn't getting calls. And oh, by the way, he wouldn't be doing this if he wasn't getting calls.
That's right.
And Kevin and I, we do this show and we talk to other, creators from other teams. And over the last, season since OKC won last year, whenever the conversation gets brought up of who do you think's going to win? It's almost like everybody talks about OKC as if they're this boogeyman. And Kevin and I have had this conversation of you still got to roll the ball out and play the games.
That's right.
We haven't, even though we acknowledge they're very good, they're not this impervious force that others have been able to, make them out to be. I know they had some injury stuff this year, but that's how these things go. But they were legitimately a Tyrese Halliburton Achilles away from having 0 rings at this point.
That's exactly right.
So, yep. I mean, I know the OKC hate isn't popular amongst everybody, but it's popular amongst quite a lot of people.
It's more popular now than it's ever been. That's for sure.
Yeah.
This season, I think, has turned a lot of people sour towards OKC. Yeah. The other thing really fast, just staying on the Sean Sweeney conversation, I loved, basically the pregame, practices and stuff for the Spurs before Game 7. Players were asked about, Sean Sweeney going to Orlando, and obviously you're never going to hear anyone say anything negative in that situation, but some of the specific comments that you heard from guys like Devin Vassell, who's been in San Antonio a while. I know Sean Sweeney's only been there for a season, but basically talking about how he, again, slightly paraphrasing, but basically reading between the lines, transformed them defensively, even in one season, which I thought was really, really impressive to hear. Keldon Johnson, I think, was the other one who also spoke very highly, and everybody's saying they're super happy for Sean and he deserves it. And the other thing is, 2 of them also said they're glad he's in the Eastern Conference. So that should say something. They're glad they don't have to coach against him. So yeah, very, very excited for him. Excited for the opportunity that he has now to try and win a ring.
Yeah, Spurs, just really quickly, they've been the second best team in terms of defensive rating in the playoffs behind the New York Knicks. So this is really going to be a good matchup in a good series. And if we go back to the regular season, they finished third in defensive rating behind the Pistons and the Thunder. So, he's obviously done a great job with the defense. Let me check. I want to see, where did they fall last year? Last year, they were 25th in defensive rating. So I'm sure there's multiple, elements that play into that, but
Wemby missed a lot of time that season, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So, he's had a big hand in transforming the defense there.
Yeah. I think, Jonathan, before we go any further, you mentioned some of these amazing people earlier. Why don't we thank our patrons? These are the people that financially support us here at the Sixth Man Show, which, by the way, if you are a patron, we do still have the patron survey. That's still on our Patreon. We posted it to Discord. It's one question. So get in there and have your voice be heard. Let us know about how you're enjoying your Patreon experience as we enter this off season and look to revamp. We always look to revamp things in the off season. What can we always make better? And Patreon is no exception. So let us know. But we also thank some of our patrons on every single episode. Today we're going to thank Daniel Flores. Finally, I've been waiting years. Luis Rosario, Smith Sheik's Ship Sinks, one of the classics there, and Fuchsia. These are 5 of our Hall of Fame and Elite Tier patrons. And I also get to do a very special shout out. We always shout out brand new patrons, and today I get to shout out my friend Linus, who is a brand new patron of ours. Linus, a diehard Magic fan, and fun fact, a world-class, and I'm not exaggerating, this is not joking, a world-class bass player. In fact, when we were in Europe back in January, I got to go see him play a show while we were in London. But while the opening acts were going on, he and I went and grabbed a bite to eat, which was very kind of him. We got to talk about all things Magic and living in Europe and touring the world as a world-class musician, and it was a lot of fun. And so big shout out to Linus for joining our Patreon. And if you would like to financially support what we do here at The Sixth Man Show, you can go to patreon.com/The Sixth Man Show. Choose the tier that's right for you. Big shout out to all of our amazing patrons.
And a big shout out to Jam Hot Chicken, our friends serving the city beautiful. Jam Hot Chicken is bringing jams, culture, and hot chicken to Winter Park and now Winter Garden. Jam Hot Chicken is a Nashville and LA-inspired hot chicken shack, locally owned and operated by diehard Magic fans, by the way, again, in Winter Park and also Winter Garden. If you're closer to Winter Park, they're over at 400 West New England Avenue, Suite 13, over there in Hannibal Square. Or if you're closer to Winter Garden, they're located in the Crooked Can area, the Plant Street Market. Follow them at Jam Hot Chicken on all social media and check out jamhotchickenfl.com to access their menu or order online, find all things Jam Hot. They actually just recently renovated their entire website and the web experience there, so be sure to check that out. If you're checking out online or if you're in person, when you get to checkout, use code SIXTHMAN, SIXTHMAN. That'll get you 10% off every single meal. So if you're going there, obviously use that. Save some money, especially in this economy. Or if you don't want to leave the house, you want to get that delivered straight to your door, you can download the Uber Eats app. Winter Park and Winter Garden locations are both located on there. It's genuinely some of not only the best Nashville hot chicken we've ever had, but just fried chicken in general. They do have no spice options. They have great sides. They've got what they call cool downs, like milkshakes and different kind of bomb pops and things like that this time of year to help combat that brutal Central Florida heat. So love our friends over at Jam Hot Chicken. Like I said, they're diehard Magic fans. They support the show because they support the team and support this fan community. So a big shout out to Andrew, the whole team over at Jam. If you stop by, be sure to let them know that the boys over at the Sixth Man Show sent you.
Absolutely. Jonathan, maybe we hit some of these messages from the chat as we continue our conversation here, talking about Sean Sweeney and about you. Let's see here. Blanco sent you, says, Evan Fournier would be proud of you, Jonathan. Wow, that's great.
That might be the nicest thing that anybody's ever said.
Celica follows it up with, Evan Fournier content will drop by 500%. That's so funny.
Tragedy.
This one, Jonathan, is very sweet, and I think it's a little funny. I'm going to read this to you. This is from your wife, Carmen. It's been lucky enough I can't read. I've been lucky enough to have a front row seat to everything you've poured into this show the past 4 years. So proud of you and all you've accomplished. Love you the good amount. That's very sweet. Very sweet.
4 years. I think she's
That's the part I was
forgot how to count, I think.
Or yeah, what year it is. That's pretty funny.
I'm assuming she typed that in on her phone. Is the 7? Yep, the 7 is right above, right below the 4.
Sure
so she just she just missed that one, but
that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the wife. That's it was actually her idea to start the podcast, and as everybody knows, talked about manager Carmen, as we affectionately refer to her here at the show. None of this ever would have been possible, and doing this, there have been like tough conversations over the years. Like, just to give people like a quick little snapshot, like if you roll your eyes when we talk about like sacrifices that we make for the show. The company that Carmen works for, every year they put together like a big like retreat for all the families, like to get away. And a couple of years ago, they literally took everybody on a cruise, like the entire company on a cruise. But because it was like the last week of the Magic season, they were going to be starting the playoffs. I had to tell Carmen, like, I can't go. Like, this was the Magic's first year back in the playoffs. With this new core, the first time that we really have a chance for this team to do something. And she's like, well, what do you mean you're not going to go? Like, the company's paying for us to go on a cruise. And I was like, everything that you've sacrificed, I've sacrificed, the kids have sacrificed, has been so that when this team gets good, hopefully like it'll catch on and like the show can become a full-time thing. So like we've been doing all this when the team has been really bad. Now that the team is getting good, this is like the most important time of the year. I can't not do the show. And that naturally caused, some healthy, friction to the point where like we sat down and had the conversation. And I said, look, I understand if you don't want me to do the show anymore, but if I'm going to do the show, like this is the level of commitment that we need to do. And as much as I love doing the show, I love you and I love our family a million times more. So like if you're not okay with me being committed at this level moving forward, then I'll just quit. And it took her a little bit of time, and obviously she was upset that I didn't go and couldn't go. But she has been behind me 1,000%. So this, past few months as I've been going through this and I've been having the conversation with her, she's always said like, this has to be your decision. So that's just like that's probably like most extreme example of like missing out on things. But none of this would have been possible without my wife, and she's my best friend. She's the GOAT. I love her.
Yeah, it's amazing. That story does also provide me one of my favorite one-liners in the history of the show is that Jonathan didn't go on the cruise, but Luke did. Luke went on the cruise with
know what? Luke
Jonathan's
Sylvia
wife.
did go on the cruise. No, you're not kidding. He actually.
I know.
Luke's like, you ain't going, I'm going.
Yeah, the joke is that Luke's wife also worked for the same company. So Luke really did go on the cruise, which is very funny. Anyway, that's one of my favorites. Janine says, happy birthday, Will. That's amazing. Juliana says, we will miss you so much. Oh, Coach Amer is here. Look at that. Very nice. Very, very nice. Shakira is here. Oh my goodness, Shakira. Happy Jesus year at Will. Welcome to Club 33. I see what you're saying. Yeah, 33 years old. Very cool. Destined for Greatness says, shout out the COVID 2K tournament. If you know, you know. How about that?
The Dinwiddie Cup.
The Dinwiddie Cup. I was about to say, I thought that was the name of it. Very cool. Let's see here. This is Marissa Osborne says, I remember when you were thinking about starting this podcast, and now look at everything you've accomplished. So proud of you. Love you, brother. That's very, very sweet.
Thank you, Marissa.
Let's see here. Supa Dupa Fly. What a name. Says, love y'all. Not a lot of Magic fans in my day-to-day life, so tuning into your guys' videos is always refreshing. Very, very kind of you. Adi says, next time I'm in Orlando, I hope the six-man show crew will be at the games I go to. I'll sneak up to you and say something idiotic like, go Heat. Well, we'll turn around and just punch you in the neck. I'm just kidding. We wouldn't do that. But that, yeah, definitely say hi next time you're I believe if I remember right, you're from Iceland, which is pretty cool. Next time you're in Orlando, you definitely got to say hi. Finn says the roster needs some serious work. That's definitely true. And we'll definitely talk about that this summer, no doubt. Destined for Greatness says, I think Sweeney reinvigorates our defense while bringing a breath of fresh air to the offense. Excited to see what assistance he brings in. Sweet Lou back in the city, beautiful. I'm so glad you brought this up. We were talking about that last night. That would be amazing. That would be so sick. Look, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a mixture of things. I'm sure Sean Sweeney is going to have some guys from other teams that he's friends with, or maybe teams in the past or whatever. But it would be nice if he could grab maybe one or two from this Spurs group, including Rashard Lewis. That would be very, very cool. I don't have any idea what the likelihood of that is, but that would be so sick.
And someone that can just these guys have witnessed, what a playoff run in Orlando can look like, but just somebody that can speak to winning in this city.
Yeah, 100%. Mikey Mike says, who will be the new co-host next to Kevin? Mikey Mike, that's a great question. It'll be all kinds of different people. This is not like, at least right now, there's no plan for like a new full-time co-host. But you'll see a lot of familiar faces coming in and out. Obviously, like we said, Jonathan's still going to be here once a month. And think about it, there's only 4 shows a month right now. Like if you missed it in the past, past couple episodes, we're only doing 1 episode a week during the off season. So one of those, weeks of the month is going to be Jonathan. You might see some familiar faces like Matt or Sam or Luke. We'll have guests. We'll have all kinds of fun stuff. And so it'll be a little bit of this and a little bit of that. T-Money says, thank you, Jonathan. Janine says, come on, Patreon members. If I can fill out the form, you guys can too. There you go. Absolutely. She also says, I'm excited we are getting a coach with recent finals experience that should hold weight with our guys. We got a super chat from Nikki Nunu. Says, got a video to get over 200 views as of today. Not much, but I always wanted to make videos, and y'all have been a massive inspiration. I can't thank y'all enough. Hashtag nips out for Jonathan. Hashtag I am Matt Browning. Appreciate that, Nikki Nunu. Appreciate all the support. And shout out for making content. That's awesome. And look at this. Luke confirming the story that we mentioned earlier. Got to watch the Magic clinch the 7 seed by beating the Bucks from the cruise ship. We had a wonderful time.
That's awesome.
Super chat from DFlight12 says, Jonathan, Migzors / Michael here.
My guy.
I remember you starting off the pod and getting to work with you on a couple of shows and giveaways. I know this was a massive achievement for yourself. Stay in touch.
Always.
Thank you so much for that. Generosity, really appreciate it. Far Above Jay says, Jonathan, what was the hardest moment you had in all those late night drives home after coming to Orlando for games or events? Was it like 3 weeks ago? Was it game 6? Because that was rough. I'm kidding.
That was rough. In terms of like coming home from games and events, it was always when there was an accident on the turnpike, because that would turn an hour and 45 to 2 hour drive into like 3.5 hours. Like one day, I think it took me almost 4 hours to get to Orlando because there was a basically like an RV that was completely engulfed in flames on the side of the turnpike. And not to mention, I had to pee like you would not believe. Like I literally almost got out of my car in like not standstill traffic, but like just bumper to bumper. I literally almost just parked my car, got out, went to the bathroom. I might have been able to put out that fire that day. It was that bad.
Yeah, I remember that incident. That was tough. That's a good question. If you have any other questions for Jonathan, leave those in the chat too. Those are fun. Lots of W's for Carmen here. Celica says W Carmen. Shakira says thank you Carmen with the winning ideas. Duval says thank you Carmen. Janine says Carmen goat with a blue heart. West Virginia Magic Fanatic says, living in West Virginia, it's hard to find people to talk about the Magic. Listening to the show makes me feel like I'm there with you guys. As a UPS driver, you've got me through a lot of long days. That is quite literally what it's all about. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. And yeah, that's why we do this. That is exactly why we do this. So
one of my favorite moments, it is not related to the show necessarily, but just doing content, was the kid that asked what's the smoke show on the rights at, when it was a picture of our good friend Marquis, our good friend Shalissa, myself, and then my wife.
Yep.
And the guy was asking for basically my wife's number, essentially, and having to be like, brother, that's my wife. Like, what are you doing right now?
And did it on Twitter in front of the whole world, which was very,
it was
fun.
Just awesome. And
very
I don't think that deterred him at all, which I kind of like respected about that guy.
Very, very funny. Duval says, you will be missed, Jonathan. Thank you for everything. Absolutely. Ash got the magic. I'm guessing this is Ash that we
That's
all
Ash,
know and
yeah.
love. Great. First discovered y'all during the pandemic and never looked back since. Much love to y'all. You guys created a magic universe for everyone. Love that. Elier says, best memories on the show. You want to think about that for a second, or do you know right away?
No, I've been going down memory lane the last couple of days. I mean, there's a ton of them. I mean, like in the early days, just seeing that people were like actually watching the show, even though it was like 30 people at the time. And then, you know, like you do something like this, like Nikki Nunu just mentioned, like he's doing content. Anybody who might want to do content, like do everything that you can to make the quality of it as good as possible, but like just keep putting out episodes. Even if nobody's watching, anybody's listening, eventually people will, and like there will be enough people that stick with you that it'll just keep growing and growing. But I think back to like finally making the playoffs after 7 years and being able to talk about that and being able to talk about that playoff series. Obviously, like Luke coming on the show was massive, even though COVID was so brutal. We got to have some like really cool conversations during that time, like having Jonathan Isaac on the show for the first time. Obviously, Dante, Jeff, David, all of those guys. Getting to be able to talk with Pat Williams, like God rest his soul. Which by the way, I think I looked that episode as like a criminally low number of views on it still.
Yeah, horrible.
The very first episode we did with Jonathan Isaac, like didn't even crack 1,000 views. We're like, if we have a player on now, like that episode's doing like 3, 4, 5,000 these days. Meeting Kevin for the first time in person on the second floor balcony of Harry Buffalo, not getting the first pick. Yeah. Harry Buffalo, God rest his soul as well. Yeah. You know, what did we end up with in that draft? Was it the 5th and the 5 and 8? Yeah, 5 and 8. And then a year later, like deciding we were going to run it back. I mean, that year having the Franz Wagner emergency podcast, that was the genesis of our, you know, friendship with Jalen as well. That video that has gone viral again and again and again. Every year it goes viral again. Us celebrating not getting Scotty Barnes and getting Jalen Suggs, which just despite them, I will still take every single day. Like that video after the Raptors got knocked out of the playoffs and like Scotty Barnes played really well, it went viral again on like 3 or 4 different outlets.
Year. Thanks
and
to
we
the
get
Toronto
no credit.
Fans. Yeah.
Yeah, we get no credit. And like if you're gonna like roast us, at least, you know, point people to the page. Like that's right. How I always feel about it. And then the next year we're like, hey, we've got a good chance to win the lottery. Like we had top 3 odds. Let's run it back. Go back to Harry Buffalo, and then everything is set up. We know it's gonna be big. We're promoting it like crazy. Like 3 weeks out, and then the week before, getting a message like, hey, like the Magic want to be a part of this, and we're like, what do you mean the Magic want to be a part of it? Like they want to like help you guys promote the show and make it like a 6-man show, Orlando Magic Michelob Ultra, like official draft lottery watch party. And we're like, oh my gosh, like we're getting to work with our favorite team. Like never thought this would ever happen. And then that night just being so special. Like I still cannot rewatch that recap without getting like significantly emotional, like welling up to the point. And like being there with like some of my very best friends. My brother was there. My brother's father-in-law was there. One of my brother's very best friends was there. Obviously Luke and Kevin and Maddie, and just like Dante, Jake Chapman being there, and just that really being one of the first times in a while that a lot of people were around a lot of people, like unmasked after COVID. True. And like beer getting thrown in the air, the floor being sticky and slippery, and like genuinely jumping into strangers' arms in celebration at that night. And then just a few weeks later, we asked the Magic, hey, can we record an episode at Kia Center like after the pick? And they're like, you can't go live, but yes. And the fact that like Jalen just reaches out to us that morning, like, hey, if you guys are there, I'd love to, you know, say what's up and meet you guys. And I just threw it out there like, hey, you're here, we're here, we've already got the pod equipment set up. Jalen had never been to that level of the concourse. I can
Probably
guarantee
hasn't
you
been
that.
since.
Probably hasn't been since. But it was like, yeah, like came up, recorded the episode with us. That episode went crazy. Being able to go to media day, the last several years, being able to bring Ben to media day. Kevin was not able to make it, last year as he was, basically, I think you were recovering at that point.
Like 2 weeks after my surgery.
From your surgery. The way that like our community got behind Kevin, like during that entire thing and helping support him and his family is obviously one of the very, very best things that we've been able to do with this. Just everything. The Magic, allowing us to have Paolo Banchero, Jamal Mosley, like make appearances on the show. The episode with Vooch obviously comes to mind. I'm sure there's a million things that I'm missing, but
probably the George Carl episode's one of your favorites. I'm just kidding.
George Carl, that was. I mean, no, like that's genuinely wild that we got to do that. Like Hall of Fame, NBA coach, like coached in the finals. When my wife made the suggestion to me that night to do a podcast, I genuinely never would have imagined in a billion years that we would be able to get to do the things that we've been able to get to do. And it's because of everybody watching and everybody listening. Like I do want to talk a little bit about my faith, somewhere in this episode, because I would feel like it's a missed opportunity if I didn't do that, given the platform that, we've been blessed with. But like Kevin and I having that as our foundation for life, just always saying like, we want to do this in a way that glorifies God. We're going to do the best job that we can. We're never going to take it for granted. We're never going to act like we're too cool for anything or too big for an opportunity. And we're going to try to treat people the right way and like bring people along for the ride, like, and give other people really cool opportunities when we can. And I believe that's why we've been able to do all the things that we've been able to do, because like God blessed us with a platform, and I believe we have been really good stewards of the platform and the opportunities that we've been given. I'm just super grateful. Like I'm sure I'm missing some things, but there have just been way too many to count. Like we have been like abundantly blessed with awesome, like living out dreams again and again and again, like being invited for the Magic rebrand, like getting to work hand in hand with our favorite team, like on a pretty regular basis. Just like this has just been more than I ever could have asked for.
And here's the thing, like 100% agree with all of that. This is not the end. That's the thing. And I don't mean like just the show. I mean, this still exists, and even with you, right? Like we're still going to have cool opportunities, and we're going to get to do cool things with our viewers and our listeners and all that kind of stuff. So while this obviously is the end of how it looks right now, it is not the end of it. And so I'm still excited for even more memories with you, brother, and with all of our amazing the Magic Maniacs out there. Speaking of which,
my gosh, we went to freaking Europe. Like
that's true. We did do that. We did do that. I remember that. That was a good time. That was legitimately like one of the coolest. Those meetups were some of my favorite moments, no doubt. Carson says, just join the stream. Not that I want you to leave, but are you or not? I'm confused. And if so, what's next for you? We've gotten this a few times. Some people that either didn't watch the whole explanation, or maybe they only saw the social media video. I don't know. Yeah. Thinking that 2 weeks ago was Jonathan's last show. No, this one is.
And I didn't do a great job of like the social media. But if you watch the first podcast that we did like last Monday, I feel like that one was pretty clear. But if you only caught Thursday, or you only caught the social media video, like it was Memorial Day. I wasn't trying to make it like a super long video. I just didn't want people to be caught off guard or blindsided or whatever, where they just like tune in an episode and I'm just kind of gone. But yeah, so like when we announced that a couple weeks ago, or last week or whenever it was, like We said like, hey, next Sunday is going to be Jonathan's last show. But when I make that social media post and, I didn't include all the details, and then I'm making a video when Sean Sweeney is announcing that, people are like, what the heck are you doing? Like, this guy just can't stay away. Yeah. And didn't help it'd be your own people. Maddie World Peace tweeting like, oh, I thought this guy retired. And we know Matt's sense of humor, but a lot of people, they don't know it perfectly. So some people are like, yeah, I thought this guy retired. Like, so I'm not completely leaving the show. I'm going to be making, once a month appearances, and I'm still going to be, involved, on things kind of behind the scenes. Like one of the best things and like, I'm very grateful that I don't have to worry about is that all of the big picture things Kevin and I have always been like 1000% aligned on. Like, I don't have to worry about that like whatsoever. So like, Kevin is going to take this, make his like own thing. And like, obviously I'll still be in the know on all of the big, like important stuff, but it's like the day-to-day stuff and the like building my life around this is what I'm not going to have to do. So I'm leaving after this one, not forever. I'll be here sometimes.
That's right. That's a great way to, that's a great summary. That's a great summary. Brian Hurd says, why don't players from our past choose to be involved with the team? We only have Bo Outlaw. Why not Dwight, Ryan Anderson, Rashard Lewis, Jameer Nelson, or others? Do they have an issue with ownership? Well, I don't think that's entirely accurate. I mean, we don't just have Bo Outlaw. It's Bo Outlaw and Nick Anderson. Both work for the team, full time. Dwight is not involved in any NBA capacity, so I don't think that's something he's interested in. Ryan Anderson was very involved with the Magic, like social media, video content this season, did a little bit in the 35th anniversary season as well, so he has been around the franchise. Rashard Lewis is on a coaching staff of another NBA team. I don't think that's because he doesn't want to coach in Orlando. I think he just had opportunities elsewhere. And Jameer Nelson is from Philadelphia. And where is he on the front office? Philadelphia, right? So, like, I don't think there's anything specific to that. We do have former players involved. Anthony Parker is a former player, and he's in the front office, former, NBA guy. I don't think there's anything to that.
Hito's around a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hito's around. Yeah. And it's not like these guys have been absent. Like Dwight obviously came to the game a couple seasons ago. Ryan Anderson's been to games. Rashard Lewis was at the same game as Dwight in the 2024 playoff. So I don't think there's a whole lot to that. Celica says, pour one out for Harry Buffalo, 100%.
Dude.
Yeah. That's a tragedy.
If
Carmen.
love could have saved Harry Buffalo, it would have lived forever.
That's true. Speaking of Harry Buffalo, this is the location of this chat from Carmen. Says, my worst memory.
Yeah.
The only event I didn't go to in the Magic getting the first pick. That was probably tough to watch, in
we all appreciate your sacrifice.
Yeah, in the living room while we had that moment. Walk the Dog says, your podcast needs to be picked up by the Magic. You provide a great product that I think they value. They could sponsor you.
Let them know.
Yeah, I was about to say, how some people say, write your state senator or something like that. I don't know who you need to write, but if you'd like that, let the Orlando Magic know. Definitely, that'd be great.
I promise you, if that was an opportunity, I would still be around.
I thought about saying that, but I was like, I'm not going to put words in Jonathan's mouth. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
And then back to back, Duval says the team should pick up the podcast. It would be nice if they sponsored you. Y'all do a fantastic job. Appreciate that. Super chat from Far Above. Jay says, Jonathan's favorite moment is definitely my laugh. If you know, you know. It's definitely up there.
It's one of the greatest laughs I've ever heard, genuinely.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Destined for Greatness says, anybody remember Shoot the Shot? How could we forget?
Gracious.
I spent so much time on that intro, and we used it like 17 episodes. That was a lot of hard work. It was a good one. For those that don't know, that was when Jonathan, Luke, and myself ventured outside of the world of the Orlando Magic and to everything else. So the Monday episode was the Orlando Magic. The Thursday episode was literally anything else. Could have been the NBA, could have been NFL, could have been Pokemon, could have been anything. Yeah. And it lasted, I think, 17 episodes. And we got the message.
The podcast network that we're currently part of, Blue Wire, It was legitimately like a dream. Like if our show could get to the level of significance, because like Blue Wire has had like a lot of like very high quality, very popular shows. And I was like, if we could be like the Orlando Magic, like representative of the Blue Wire network, like that would be a dream for me. And they reached out, and as we dug into some of the different things that they offered, there was a program that they were doing at the time that wasn't exactly you being part of their network. It was, from what I remember, Kevin, they were almost like a consultant in a sense, whatever that program was called. So when we found out about that, we're like, oh, that's what they want us to do. Mm-hmm. And then when we met with them and they actually wanted us to join the network, it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But it was like, you do have to have like a certain level of, downloads and engagement each month. And we're like, well, the only way we can do that is if we add another show. If we add another show, what are we going to talk about with the Magic? That's impossible. So let's talk about the NBA. And then we did it for like a couple months, and we all hated it. We hated doing it. Listeners didn't like it. So we're like, we try to do this. It's not us. Let's do what we know and what we love. And that's where the twice a week version of this show came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those conversations were really something. They really, really were. Blanco Senya says, will there be a 6-man show rep for the Sweeney presser? Depends. Like we talked about at the beginning of the show, we don't know when it's going to be. Depends on when the Spurs season ends. We'll have to wait and see. Celica says, Vucevic episode was my favorite. That was an all-timer. That was really, really great. Adi says, can you do an interview with Stuff? I'd love to get his side of all Magic-related topics. That'd be amazing. But Stuff doesn't talk. If we could get Stuff on the show and Stuff talked, that would be
fire.
That'd be really cool. Luke Sylvie
We've
says,
thought of that, like doing like a little quick cameo and, a 30-second thing where he doesn't say anything, but
yeah, maybe someday.
It's never happened.
Luke Sylvie says, can't forget going to Charlotte and me getting stomach sick.
Yeah.
You're right. We can't forget that, Luke. That image will be forever in our brains.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about the details of this.
Yeah.
So
Luke had a little too much. No, I'm just kidding. It was legitimate stomach sickness.
So we're in Charlotte. We this was like our time, like during the like once a year, away trips. And honestly, we've done that, each of the last 3 seasons. But was that 2 or 3 seasons ago now?
I think that was the 23-24 season. I think
okay.
It was.
So when did you and I go to Atlanta then?
The year before. That was 22-23.
So what did we do the 24-25 season? Did we do anything?
I don't think we did.
All right. Well, almost once a year. Yeah. Anyway, so we're in Charlotte, and during the day in Charlotte, like during the week, God bless you if you live in Charlotte, but there's nothing to do downtown Charlotte like during the week, unless you're going to, no offense, go to like the NASCAR Hall of Fame or whatever.
There it is. I was waiting.
So we're like walking around, and we end up in like a food hall somewhere, and cool. Luke's like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And Luke comes out like 15 minutes later. He's like, I just threw up everywhere in there.
And he was not lying.
Yeah, he was not
everywhere.
So then we go back to like the Airbnb, like hang out before the game, and Luke doesn't feel up to going to dinner. So Kevin and I went. We had a phenomenal dinner. We had a great time.
We took our budget that was allotted for 3 people and split it among 2 people, and it was
correct.
Great.
But then Luke met us at the game, and that was an awesome time. J. Cole was like 5 feet from us.
That was insane.
Yeah, we got the little, Fox or Bally Sports Florida, shout out. That was really cool. Shout out to Luke, man. That dude, when he throws up, he throws up.
Oh, he commits. All right, Matt Browning, the legend, says, thanks, Jonathan, for the hard work you put into this over the years. That's amazing. I am Matt Browning. Luz Rosario, this is a good shout. Jalen wearing the 6-man show shirt on national TV was so cool for the show. Yeah, that was super cool.
That was amazing.
Super chat from Just Call Me RR. Much love, John. Thanks for everything you did. Congrats on your new chapter with the show. Appreciate the generosity as well. And then, Destin for Greatness saying he remembers the Charlotte trip, the 6-man show, getting a shout out from JT during the game and hearing the Play the Song chants you guys started. Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah. Terrence Ross at times. I'm guessing you're referring to Terrence Ross coming on the show, which, speaking of which, Jonathan, I told you before this show, I went to my closet. I wanted to find something that was related to this monumental occasion. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
can I find something from 2019? And I did. I am wearing a very, very limited edition. I'm going to have to stand up.
Oh, it's the 8.
The
Wow.
number 8 Terrence Ross jersey, which he
Very
only
nice.
wore the beginning of 2019 until Kobe died in January of 2020 when he changed it back from 8 to 31 in honor of Kobe. He didn't feel like he could wear Kobe's number.
Right. That was the 2019-2020 season.
Correct. It's the closest I could get. I know you started the show in 18-19. But I decided to wear the Terrence Ross number 8 super limited edition, which is pretty cool.
A little bit after he signed that contract, and then basically, I think what he did was shared like a screenshot of a conversation between him and Jake Diamond that like 8 was approved. Carmen just happened to be at the mall that day and went into a Lids and bought me a Magic hat. And this was like they do where you can get the number and like their autograph and like embroidered on the side. Mm-hmm. So I got that and I posted it and Terrence reshared it that day. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Robra says, sad to see you go, Jonathan. Good luck and enjoy your family time. Well deserved. This is good. Nikki Nunes says, telling my kids the Magic retired the number 6 because of this show. That's awesome. That's funny, but there have been we have gotten comments like that in the past. Not saying that it's retired because of us, but it's kind of weird things that kind of tie it to that. And it's like, no, it's the other way around. Jonathan named the show because of the 6th man. It's not the other way around. I don't know. I just always thought it's kind of funny.
There also have been there's been an increase in the term the 6th man being used in the Orlando Magic universe, lexicon over the years. And it's like, maybe it's just a coincidence, but
ticket codes, alcohol, it's everywhere. Yeah. It's great.
And we made nothing off of it. We made nothing.
Oh man, that's great.
We support it all. Don't get us wrong. Like we have never acted like we own that.
No,
but it's just like convenient, yo.
Yeah. Never act like that's been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Magic 12132 says new coach has me pumped. Me too. Saiyan Soul says I hope the Orlando Magic get more attention on social media throughout the world so people like you can grow significantly. Yeah, we always want Orlando Magic creators to have their platform increase. Super chat from Far Above Jay says shoot the shot equals Girl Meets World following up Boy Meets World. Oh,
that's tough.
That's really tough.
So our yearly episodes with Dan Savage, when he and I would always, talk about our shared love for Boy Meets World, the only listener that has ever reached out to me to let me know because of that they have gone back and watched Boy Meets World is Jesus.
There you go.
And he has come to the conclusion that it is one of the greatest shows of all time, especially if you're from the 90s and you're like nostalgic for that time period. That show is just so good.
There you go. Luke is back. He says, breaking the JI coming back from injury news was hilarious. Completely healed. That was a big deal. That was really cool. We got a really cool scoop about that. Shout out to one of our viewers and listeners. And then we ran with it. I mean, ran with it.
Sure.
And then it got picked up by all kinds of outlets and stuff. And got memed too. It was very funny.
JI, like, he reached out, was like, y'all are crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, it was sent to us. We didn't find it. If we didn't put it out there, someone was going to.
That's right.
And that was pretty crazy.
That's right. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Here's one shout out as one of the UK Magic fans. You personally helped out looking for like-minded fans over this side of the pond. Much love, Jonathan. Wow, that's great. It's very late for you. It's like 2 a.m. over there.
That's wild.
Appreciate you still being here.
And I appreciate people saying kind things, but like I want people to realize that like everything that we did was always a group effort, like a team effort. Like for every effort that I've made to try to bring Magic fans across the globe together, Kevin has been right there. Luke has been right there. Like I appreciate the kind words, but I hope everybody realizes that like for the last like 5 years, this has been a complete like group effort. That's just
You
I want
started
people to
it.
know that.
You started.
Well, yeah,
it, so
but
there you go. Nikolai says, I just remembered when I found you guys. I actually went to Harry Buffalo on the night of the draft where we picked up Jalen and Franz. Looked up and saw the 6-man show flag hanging. Yeah, that was cool. That we left that there when we left on purpose.
that
and
banner
it
hung
stayed
there for a while.
for a long time. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
I think it might. Was it still there when we went back the following year?
I believe that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was
right.
up there for a while, and then
pretty
one
cool.
day it just wasn't. But
Yeah, pretty cool. And then far above Jay says, Jonathan, do you remember the 6-man round table? Of course. This would be a great moment to explore that idea. You never know. Like I said, there's going to be all kinds of fun things happening this summer through the off season. That is absolutely something that's on the cards. But yeah, that was wild. We had all kinds of random people on that. So that was cool. I'm at the end of the chat pretty much. Got all kinds of other things, being said about me, about the team being popular in 2050, which is too long from now. I don't even want to think about that. I hope we're popular before then. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the chat so far. If you have any last thoughts, chat, or last questions, now's the time to get them in. Jonathan, what you think?
Yeah, I'm just it's been bittersweet for me. Looking forward to having more time. And Carmen and I were talking, like, not that I've been going like back and forth, but it's been really difficult for me the last few weeks, especially since the season has ended. And it's no secret, Kevin and I, like, during the off season, this show becomes just more difficult to do because you don't have the games to kind of help the content. Like, you have to be very creative. So as I've been talking about, like, oh man, like, we don't really know what we're going to talk about yet tonight and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, like, what if you weren't doing the show like during the off season? Like, maybe it would be easier to keep the season going. I'm like, no, the off season is honestly like where the podcast is harder. And the podcast isn't as fun as doing it during the regular season, but like life in general during the off season is easier because we have 2 nights that we record, but then we also don't have a watch party to go to and 4 games to watch and all of that, kind of stuff. But like, as I've just been going kind of, struggling with this, like just thinking about everything that we've done, like the YouTube and like the YouTube channel and like podcasts combined, I think at this point, Kevin, we're like, if we take the Jonathan Isaac vaccination discussion video, which is the biggest video on our channel that we literally just like ripped and posted because we knew that people would want to know what was going on with that at the time because it was a very big story when it happened. But if you take that away, Kevin, we're still like over 1.5 million views and like lifetime downloads, like combined. Like, that is one heck of an achievement. And all of the things that we have talked about, and again, I still do love this part of it. It's just you don't get to do the really awesome stuff without the not so awesome stuff with this. And the not so awesome stuff is the stuff that makes it really hard to do this. But it's bittersweet, but I definitely, and Kevin and I have had, kind of an ongoing discussion about what everything is going to look like. And there was a point in time where I was just going to like come back random, like just whatever day I felt like it, every few months or whatever, just like, hey, Kevin, can I jump on the show? And he would be like, yeah, of course you can. I think if I would have stuck with that instead of what we're doing now, which is going to be like once a month, I would be, even though I'm still very sad that this chapter is ending for me, I would be way more sad if I knew I didn't have that. But I also think that even though, I am making that commitment and I'm excited about it and I'm excited about what the show is going to look like outside of that, knowing that like this isn't the end for me is definitely a lot better, like versus if it was just completely over. So, I'm just, again, I think I've shared how grateful I am. I hope I always came across as genuine. I know like people didn't always agree with what I said or some of the things that we stood for on the show and some of the opinions that I have personally, but I hope at least you realize that like I was never faking any of this. I was never like filtering myself through any of this. Like if we met in person, like those interactions were always very genuine and always meant a lot to me because I know how it is. Like, first of all, going up to somebody that you don't really know, especially when it's like this kind of relationship where you kind of feel like you know a lot about me. And obviously, if we haven't met, I don't really know anything about you. But just like getting to meet people and people saying hi and like whatever it was, like there's just not enough time on this show, and I would bore you all to death if I talked about every interaction and how much all of it meant to me and how much everything has meant to my family. And I know I'm speaking for Luke and for Kevin and for everybody about, you know, how much we love this and how much we enjoy it and how much like people sharing nice things and sharing kind words, like how much it really means to all of us. And I just hope everybody knows that. You know, I hope everybody knows that like I really gave this my all, that this isn't like a giving up or like a quitting thing. It's just like, this is just what I feel like is best for me and my family. And everybody has respected that. I've had a couple of people tell me that I was an idiot, which is totally fine. Like, and I get it. Like, if the roles were reversed and you don't really know what it's like doing this, and we've been very blessed to be able to do this, don't get me wrong, but if you're on the other side, it could be very easy to be like, oh my gosh, how is this guy like giving this up? Like, I would give anything to do this. First of all, like, you can do this. Like, don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Like, get a mic, start a podcast, do it, you know, every single week, you know, for a few years, twice a week for 5 years. And like, you could be doing what we're doing. Like, Kevin and I are not like some anomaly. Like the things that we have going for us is that we were consistent, we're super passionate, and we just treat everybody the right way, even when it wasn't necessarily like in the best interest of the show. Like, the show probably could be a little bit bigger if we broke some of the things that we knew or shared some of the things that we knew or shared some of the things that we saw. But we always said, like, that's not what's best for fans. That's not what's best for the team. And that for us was always the biggest thing. Like, if this isn't good for the team, we don't care if it's good for the show to get some clicks. Like, we were just never, ever, 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 ever going to do that. And even if you didn't like us, I hope that you can respect that. And then for anybody that's watching, anybody that's listening, like, I truly believe, like, deep down in my heart, that everything that we have is because we use this as a platform to glorify God whenever we could, that we treated people well, that we tried to like show people the love of Christ through what we were doing. Even in those conversations that you might have heard that you didn't agree with us, or you didn't agree with what I said, or you wanted to meme what I said, or whatever it was, you might not believe it, but that was always coming from a place of love. It was never trying to win people over for a political party or anything like that. Whenever we shared things that you might not have liked, or maybe you really did like, and people shared that they appreciated us, you know, stepping up and speaking on what we believe. But that was always because we, at least, you know, I speak for Kevin as well. Like, we do want to see people meet Jesus, like 1,000%, like more so than we want people to be Magic fans. We want people to know Jesus, because like, your life can be transformed. You might not know this, but Jesus created you for a purpose to worship and glorify him. And because of sin, we're all sinners in our own different dirty ways, but he died the death that you and I deserved. He didn't die for you. He died instead of you, so that by his power and overcoming the grave, you could have eternal life in believing in him. And that's the most important thing I could ever share with anybody on this platform. And I do believe that an element of the success that we've had has been because God knows that if he grows this show, when we have the opportunity to glorify him and to share the gospel, we would do that unapologetically. You may not believe that. That's totally fine. But I know that like every time I thought the show couldn't get any bigger, God would just like randomly open a door and things would happen that didn't make any sense, but they were still happening. And we praised God and glorified God in that. And then we always said, like, when we have the opportunity that makes sense, because we didn't want to beat people over the head with it, but when it made sense for us to share the gospel, we always try to make a lane for that to happen. And that's really all I've got.
Love that. Yeah, that's excuse me. That is something I'm very proud of the fact that I think we just try to love people. That's what it comes down to. And still there are people that don't like us, and that's fine. But at the very least, we've tried to be respectful, at bare minimum, respectful and kind to others. But that all comes through the lens that you were just talking about. And so, yeah, definitely appreciate you sharing those thoughts. And that's a great final segment, I think, of you hosting, a show is sharing, our faith in that way. But we did get 2 more super chats at the buzzer from a friend of ours, Nick's Film School. Says, love you, brother. This is coming from Andrew Claudio, I'm assuming. Says, we'll miss our collaborations. Best wishes to you both and your families. And he added another one that said, Whispers, go New York, go is still a better song. Well,
Real one.
Not everybody's perfect, and we'll pray for Andrew. But just kidding. And here's the thing. I don't know if Andrew's still watching. I was rooting for the Knicks in the finals. We just hired a Spurs assistant, Andrew.
Yeah,
so I've now jumped over to the Spurs. I want our new head coach, Sean Sweeney, to win a title. But if the Knicks win it, I will be very, very happy for you. Like, genuinely very happy for you. And it will be great, I think, for basketball as well. So anyway, that's all the super chats. I think that's all.
I would just want to add to that, like, if the Knicks win, I will be happy for Andrew and our friends over at Knicks Film School, and I will love every bit of the chaos that comes out of New York City. Like, that city is going to turn into Gotham instantly if they win the title. Yeah. And maybe it will if they don't. Who knows? Yeah.
I missed a super chat earlier as well from Far Above Jay. Says, remember Luke Sylvia's cup inside joke. I was not there for that. I'm guessing is that related to Dinwiddie Cup and we called it Luke?
No, that's different. I think I don't remember if Luke had Jesus's cup or Jesus had Luke's cup like forever. Like, they were at a game sitting near one another and one of them had a souvenir cup and left without it, and the other person either still has it. I think Jesus still has Luke's cup is what I think he's saying. I don't remember the specifics of that, but I think I'm in the ballpark with that one.
Gotcha. All right, well, that's all the super chats, and as we cross pushing an hour and 20 minutes, I think that's about all I've got, Jonathan, unless you have any other things to share. No surprises, by the way. I warned Jonathan, I set the bar way too high for a 5-year anniversary episode with all those surprises and that good stuff.
One of my very favorite, that might end up being my very favorite episode.
That's a good show.
If you're bored or whatever and you want to go back and like relive like memories with us, that's just a great episode. Like, that was very, very special. I love you forever, obviously, but for like you and Luke working to set all that up and that was the Carmen at the end, man, that gets me to this day, watching that. So
that was tough, but appreciate you, brother. Yep. And this is not the end. I'll see you in a month.
Not
I guess
the end.
We'll do this again.
Not goodbye. Well, I mean, you'll hear from me. You personally will hear from me.
More so everybody listening in and tuning in. This is not the end. That's what I'm also just telling myself that, we'll do this every month and more frequently, like I said, as we get to the playoffs. I know you'll hop on even more. So it'll be great.
Well, I've been on at least 600 of these things. I think this is episode 600, and I've closed it out basically the exact same way every single time. I want to pass the torch, Kevin. Close us out.
Oh, merciful heavens. My goodness. That's a lot of pressure for your last episode. You sure?
I'm positive.
All right. Wow. Well, now I'm going to get emotional. No, I'm just kidding. I'm okay. Jonathan, love you. Appreciate you. Like I said, this is not the end. Looking forward to hearing your takes, once a month, if not more frequent than that. But, that's the end of the show. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Thanks for walking down memory lane with us. Thank you. Above all else, thank you for showing the love to Jonathan. He absolutely deserves it. 7 years is nothing to sneeze at. So, big shout out to Jonathan. But for Jonathan Osborne, this is Kevin Tucker. You all have been listening to The Sixth Man Show, and we will catch you guys next time. See ya.
Thanks for listening to The Sixth Man Show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and Spotify to get new episodes downloaded directly to your phone. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to give us a 5-star rating and a review. It helps out the show a lot. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sixth Man Show. We'll catch you guys next time. Go Magic!